Here is a cardboard box that was used to hold 6 containers of who knows what. And I've been making masks and trucks and stuff out of boxes, and because this one has interesting cuts in it to create this thing with one piece of paper, one piece of cardboard, I thought it would be interesting to see how this shape inspires me to make a certain kind of a thing. And nothing is happening to me right now, but let me unglue the bottom element and flatten it out, and we'll see what it looks like. Sometimes chance things like shapes of flattened cardboard boxes are inspiring to me, and other times they're not. And is this one inspiring? You know, I see these slits as shark gills. That's sort of what I'm seeing. Could this be a shark eye? And those are that's the little shark eyelid. If this is going to be a mask. It's winking at me. I don't know what this is going to be. If this is going to be anything, or I should just put it back in the recycle bin. Here I thought inspiration would strike immediately, but it's not. Is it? Or is it? Is it or isn't it? I don't know. It's always interesting to see what does spark inspiration and what doesn't. I think I will eventually turn this into a mask just using this one thing and taking my paper cutter and cutting it into smaller pieces, but somehow retaining, if I can, as much of the original zigzags and folds as I'm able. I had been collecting boxes in my building, and some of the boxes are quite pre-formed to hold delicate parts of a vacuum cleaner or a pair of shoes or crock pot or something, and the cardboard protects it, and it's being shipped and manhandled by the Amazon company or whoever's sending these things around. And I and you and you and you and you, all of us are hot-wired into seeing faces in objects. So things like holes become eyes or mouths, and a line becomes something other than just a line. It becomes part of a mouth, or you turn things into faces. And I find that kind of fun as a starting point for creating something. And these shapes will do that to me. They're not doing it to me right now, but they will do that. They will work for me at some point, but just not at the moment. Now, why am I bothering to... I thought I would be recording the spark of inspiration, but instead I'm showing you that inspiration did not happen. And that's often what you do when you are an artist. You are not inspired every day, and you have to work at trying to find inspiration somewhere else, or you have to make up your own inspiration. You can't let something else tell you what to do. You have to think about it yourself. A lot of times people that look at something I might do and they might say, how long did it take you? And I'll say, well, it took, the standard line is 40 years and 40 minutes, meaning that it took 40 years of your experience to have all of the knowledge you need to create something as lovely as what you just did in 40 minutes. It takes you that long to get the experience and the skill. That's somewhat true, and sometimes it isn't true. Sometimes it just takes 40 minutes and it doesn't take any past skill set, because inspiration, when you get it, you often are not using any of the information you had before. You're suddenly inspired to do something completely new. And of course, it's not completely new. There's always something that's you're borrowing from your past. But sometimes when you try a new medium, like my father did with clay, and clay and pottery is like the last thing I would think he would have been interested in, but he created some beautiful things using it, and he hadn't done any of that in his former artistic life, but he just dove right into something completely new, and succeeded in many cases, and didn't succeed as well in other cases, but he really just jumped right into it. And looking at the things he made, I could see things that reminded me of drawings and paintings he had done earlier in his life. So there was a connection between the 40 years and 40 minutes. There was some of that, but occasionally something like this could inspire me to make something completely new to me. And here I was hoping that was going to happen right in front of you, but it didn't. So I don't want to call this a fail, because this is going to weigh on me. This is going to sit in my little brain for a while, and I might figure this out if I take my 40 years and 40 minutes and do something with it. Right now, I bet if I had 40 minutes to spend on this, I could come up with something interesting. Well, no, that's not a guarantee. I mean, I know I could do something that's okay with just this, if I wanted to do it. But I'm waiting for something really to spark it. And I could do a drawing right here on this surface. I can make a face using those as eyes. One winking, because it only has one eyelid here. The other eyelid doesn't exist. But that's not really taking into account the starting point. And it's kind of this whole thing with these parallelograms that I want to play with this aspect of it. And that may take some time for those brain cells to all get together and come up with something. So it will be in my back burner for a while, and I'll be tripping over it, so it will remind me. I could put it away in a corner and not see it, and it'll go out of my memory, or I can leave it right here where it will remind me, think of something, and maybe I will think of something. I haven't decided. What I'm really doing right now is procrastinating. I've got a job to do, two jobs to do, that are due soon, and I don't want to do them. But I need to do them because I signed a contract, and I need to do them because I need the money, and I need to do them because they're also in my brain, and I need to get them out of my brain. And now I've got a third thing in my brain, but I'm procrastinating. That's what I'm doing. And that's what you're doing. You're watching me. You have jobs to do. You have jobs to do. You don't have a damn thing to do over there. You can just watch me all day long if you want to, but most of you have things to do. And I think it's time that I say goodbye to you, and you can do your job and I can do my job. Bye.